up, man? What you been doing? You been training? You've been overtraining, haven't you? You've been listening to everybody on the internet talking about overtraining. Listen, I'm here to talk about this subject, overtraining, because little do you know, and maybe some other people, overtraining does exist. Now listen, here's the thing, man. I'm not hating on anybody. I'm not hating on Mike Rashid's overtraining and anybody else's overtraining. I'm not hating on anybody. Just get that out in the open. All I'm telling you is I want to give you my perspective on overtraining. Now, Dorian Yates, who happens to be my favorite bodybuilder of all time, Dorian Yates, he had terrible genetics. He did. He didn't have the best genetics, but he worked so hard. A lot of people don't realize his workouts were only 30 minutes at a time, and he only worked out about 4 or 5 days a week, okay? And Dorian Yates, I used to watch his videos, I used to read his books, and there was one big takeaway that stuck in my mind that Dorian Yates said, and that is this, that when you're training, okay, when you work out, you're basically opening up a wound, okay? Pretend there's a big wound on my hand. And every time you work out again, before that bad boy heals up all the way, guess what? You're picking a scab off. You're not letting that muscle fully recuperate, and you're just tearing it off, and there's actually side effects to that. Besides not growing muscle the way you should, there's actually side effects to that. I'm also want to tell you a little story about one of my buddies, okay? Now, one of my buddies is huge. He was huge. He was massive, dude. Like 230 pounds, shredded, top level competitor, big boy, dude. Shredded to the bone and huge. Well, he did some training videos. He did 4 training videos in a row. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, okay? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 4 days in a row. Every single day, he trained like an animal for this video shoot series that he was doing. Guess what happened? He was driving home from the last and final training video, and all of a sudden, he got a headache and went blind. Yeah, he went blind and basically had what's called as an aneurysm. Say that, no, whoa, say that with me. Aneurysm, okay? He had an aneurysm. Then he had a heart attack. Yeah, had a heart attack right after the aneurysm. Went blind, dude, couldn't see for 30 solid minutes. They took him to the emergency room. He had another freaking heart attack. Lived. Then his kidneys failed. The dude's on dialysis. He lost all his muscle, and he's a super good guy. Great guy, friend of mine. And so I went to him, and of course, you know, just like every other dude, oh man, what were you taking? What caused it? What were you taking? What drugs were you taking? Now, I don't know what he was on. Maybe he was on a lot of stuff. Maybe not. Was he? I don't know. But the doctors told him he developed what's called rhabdomyolysis. Rhabdomyolysis. If you probably heard that, right? You probably heard Uncle Rhabdo in the CrossFit community. Well, rhabdomyolysis is actually pretty serious. It's from overtraining. When you beat your muscles down, beat them down, what happens when you break your muscles down? Does anyone know? Anyone? You? Yeah, you? Oh yeah, you're right. There's a byproduct. Well, that byproduct basically gets filtered by your kidneys, and it poisons your kidneys, and you can actually have a major health problem where you're going to need dialysis, and you could have some pretty interesting things happen to your body health-wise. Now, listen, that is worst case scenario, but the fact remains is that he did overtrain. I want to pull another quote out on you, okay? One of my favorite bodybuilders, probably number 2 best bodybuilder in my opinion in the world, that was Lee Haney. Lee Haney had a quote, and it goes like this: stimulate, but do not annihilate. Stimulate, put that in your back pocket. No, wait. No, go ahead, man. All right, you wrote that down, right? Stimulate, do not annihilate. So if you're training like crazy every single day, and especially if you're hitting the same body parts every day, that is beyond dumb. That's elementary. You just don't do that. Listen, there's a lot of things you're not doing. First off, and there's a lot of things that you are doing that are very negative. You're not giving your tendons a rest. You're not giving your joints a rest. And what can happen is you could have an injury. Even if you didn't have an injury, you're increasing the percentage of probability okay? As far as the probability factor is concerned of you getting an injury because you're beating down your tendons, your cartilage, your joints. Those things need a break. They need a rest. Next thing that happens when you're overtraining is you're beating down your central nervous system. This is huge because you could get sick, you could get burned out, your body might even be ready, but your mind is just burnt out, or your body and your mind is burnt out, and your body's just taxed because you're not letting your central nervous system catch that break and recoup. Now, another thing is speed. People don't realize this. They'll work out every day and they're like, oh dude, I'm not overtraining, I'm just going ballistic, 2-hour workouts, going crazy every single day. And they notice they're getting weaker and weaker and weaker. What's happening? Well, when your central nervous system isn't fully recuperated, what happens is your speed goes down when you're lifting weights. What is strength? Well, strength is what? It's how big something is and how fast that something is going, right? Speed, all right, with a certain amount of force. Speed is a massive part of how strong you are. Well, what happens when your central nervous system goes down? You lose that explosiveness. That's the key thing that happens when you have a beat down, worn down, used and abused, overtrained central nervous system is speed. Your speed goes down the tubes. And that speed portion of your strength percentage perchance that you're bench pressing, you just don't have that boom explosiveness anymore. So you get weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. That's why I tell guys, stop maxing out. Why you max out every freaking week, 2 times a week? Bro, you're just getting weaker and weaker and weaker. You have to do different things to trick your central nervous system, to prevent your central nervous system from not getting overtrained. Now, another big, huge bodybuilder that I was a big fan of when I was younger was Nasser El Sunbody. He's dead. He died for whatever reasons, but there were times where, if you watch his video, he was talking about it, there were times where he said he just never went to failure. That he believed that you can't go to failure every single workout. If you're hitting chest 3 times a week and every freaking workout is go to failure and beyond failure, you're not growing, because again, you're just tearing into that scab over and over and over again. And that goes back, circling back to Lee Haney about stimulate, don't annihilate. So yeah, I do use intensity techniques. I will go to failure and then catch a negative and then do a rest pause, and then a drop set after that. But those things can't be used. Just like Nasser said, if you watch this video, you can't do those things all the time because you won't grow. Your body won't grow the muscle. It's too busy trying to freaking just recuperate, bro. Here's my final thoughts on this in closing. Final thoughts, okay, about overtraining. If you are training over and over again and you're going nuts in the gym, which is great, I go nuts in the gym, but I also want to work smart and hard because I want to grow muscle, okay? Why would you keep working out if you're not giving 100%? Now check it out, I'd rather rest, okay? Just like Dorian Yates used to say. He said if he would wake up and not feel like he was going to give 100% in the gym, he wouldn't even go to the gym, he'd go the next day. Listen, that's what you gotta do. If I'm in an overtraining state and I truly feel like I'm not gonna be going in there giving 100%, you know, why would I do that? I'd rather use rest properly. I'd rather use a technique called rest and recuperation and go back to the gym 100%. Strong central nervous system, strong tendons, strong joints, mentally fresh, and go in there and truly crush it the way I really want to. That's how I got on the Overtraining, man. Don't forget to subscribe. Tune in next time, and thank you for watching.